These next two cats, Drew, they have gotten the curriculum into the legitimate school system. I mean, for real.
I thought it was the Los Angeles school system.
Well, it used to be legit. Please welcome Brian Fritch and Michael Sinclair.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing?
Hey, guys, pay no attention to my banana. He's had a tough night.
I have.
Don't worry about it.
It is kind of amazing to me, somebody that lives here in LA, that you got such a big thing into the LA school system. It's like quite an accomplishment. Can you take us through a little bit about how you got that done?
Sure. Yeah, it's been years that I've been aware of TeachRock and Rock and Roll Forever, and so when we saw the shows and met everybody backstage, we met Bill and Randa, and we talked about bringing it to our school. So I had some PD, some professional developments, and Brian participated, and it turned out that Brian had at another school taught TeachRock and integrated into an entire semester of one of his classes, and he was really enthused about it. And so we talked about the concept of, hey, could we make it into a course? And so I collaborated with Brian. Brian really wrote the course up based on basically the TeachRock curriculum. And we went through the process of our district. And Brian, I think didn't we start this in February? I think,
yes, I taught the course several years ago. We called it something else because we have to fall under an approved course list, and so I called it cultural awareness. And I taught history of rock and roll and used the curriculum. And then when I became a teacher at Bravo, Mike and I ran into each other, and it came up in conversation. He said, "Well, let's get this approved." And so we wrote up a curriculum and went through the approval process. And now it's an approved course for LAUSD for any teacher to take the opportunity to teach it. And so we're super excited. We're going to have it during our spring semester at Bravo High School. I think it's great. The kids, are going to be engaged because kids are so interested and engaged with music. We're really, really excited and can't wait to teach the course.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. Not only is it available to our students, we have 1,800 students at our school, but because it's in our district and it's an approved course in our district, that we've got 140,000 high school students in LA Unified School District. So wow. Any high school in our district could offer this course. And because it was approved by the University of California as part of the college entrance requirements, class that could be taken by students to qualify as part of a sequence of courses to go to the University of California or the Cal State University campuses, which includes UCLA, which was just named the #1 public university in the country. It potentially is available to any high school to adopt in the state of California. We have 400 school districts with high schools in the state of California, and that means that there's about 1.7 million students in California who potentially could take this class at some point.
That's really amazing. Hey, Stevie, you come a long way since that teacher brought his bebop records into Blackboard Jungle. Remember that scene?
Come a long way since my music teacher let me play the first Who album. How did you deal with the grade levels? Did you leave it a little bit flexible for a couple of different grade levels, or?
Yeah, it's a social studies elective, so it really can be open to any grade within high school. I think we're going to be leaning towards the upper grades because that's when they have more of an opportunity to take electives. But any high school student could feasibly take it.
Oh, good.
At the risk of sounding old, which I am, but do the kids not know any of these rock and roll songs because they're just like high school kids now? And they're
I had a girl and she's wearing a Nirvana t-shirt. This happened a couple of years ago, and I asked her, "Oh, you like Nirvana?" And she's like, "Who's Nirvana? I just like the shirt." So, and that's Nirvana. So you go back even further than that. Yeah, there's not there are some kids who definitely listen to some classic rock and some old stuff, but a lot of the kids don't listen to that stuff. And I think it's really great to expose them. I've taken some of the curriculum and I've made Spotify playlists so I can share a playlist with the kids and say, here's what we're going to be studying for this unit. Here's your playlist. Listen to this. And I have them write about what they're listening to and what they, feel about each song. And some of the kids like really get into it, and they get to discover new stuff they haven't listened to before.
So did you do the whole history, or are you doing it more like LA centric? You know what I mean?
I do the whole history, but I think I start with kind of the wide and bring it into LA. So at the end, we hopefully can do some kind of that documentary that's in the curriculum. They look at some of the local music that they have within their city.
And we're hoping to get some guest speakers from the local scene. I think I've met Henry Diltz and maybe Robby. Whoops, I don't know what just happened.
Nothing.
Over the years.
Yeah.
Oh, there we are. And
well, that was that was the original idea. That was the original idea I had. I hoped eventually to have such coverage in so many schools or in classrooms that any band on tour could actually stop into a school and sit in on a class and take part in that class. I mean, that's still one of our goals, eventually to do that. And that's why we try to cover all of the genres. It could be anybody. It's wonderful for the artists and it's wonderful for the kids. And it doesn't matter whether the kids are familiar with it or not. I think they enjoy it anyway, and it'll make the teachers, really look even cooler,
And the timeliness and the relevance of this, because of the situation we're in, because of distance learning, it's going to be something that I think kids are going to really be able to connect to, and it really we're going to be able to take advantage of the fact that we're online, that they have access at their fingertips. They're going to already be able to get to the online curriculum, music videos, and so on. And if we're doing something just like what we're doing right now, where we can bring some speakers in and guests in from really kind of anywhere in the country, and then eventually when we get back to being live, it'll be exciting to have live appearances too, if that's possible. I also wanted to mention, there was just today, I heard that speaking of the timeliness, there was a story that the current administration in Washington, D.C., I guess is not too excited about the 1619 project, the New York Times project, and they apparently established a 1776 commission to promote patriotic education. They don't really think that 1619 is patriotic, and so somehow they wrangled themselves a National Endowment of the Humanities grant in order to fund that. And the story on NPR, included a quote from historians who are looking at it, and there's one, Hassan Kwame Jeffries at Ohio State University, who said that they disagree with the president's basic premise that studying America's flaws is somehow unpatriotic. And the quote from Dr. Jeffries is, he says, "That's absurd. The highest form of patriotism is critical analysis." And, this is exactly what I think this curriculum does, and why I think it's so important, for us right now at this time, to be bringing this to students.
Well, it's wonderful, man, and I hope the word can spread, and we can get that into as many classes as possible. But we know from statistics that if a kid likes one single class or one single teacher, it'll keep them in school, and that's one of our goals, is to improve the graduation rate in high school, and deal with this dropout epidemic that's going on. So we're hoping to do that. And obviously the more schools we're in, the more likely that is to have an effect. So we really want to thank you two guys. What a wonderful, wonderful thing you've done.
Yeah, you just gave me hope. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, and Stevie, especially you for having this vision and bringing this. It's such an important project.
Well, it's exciting to see it coming alive. We've been working on it for 15 years, and it's really starting to see it, in its practical use. So it's really exciting. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.